Hey all. Those of you that know me musically probably know that I don't audition for things. The world of prog tends to involve a lot of people knowing each other, and you end up getting asked to be on something by somebody, which is always lovely, or partake in a band or join a band or whatever. I recently put in an application to actually join someone's band. It didn't work out, and actually that's a really good thing. And this is why. I'm ancient. I still play, I still give it large on stage, and I still enjoy playing and performing. I'm also an enormous Eurovision fan, a big drag fan. I'm a huge fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, Boulet Brothers Dragula, drag race franchises across the planet. Earlier this year, I went along to DragCon UK in London. Loads of the queens were performing. There was a huge variety of people there from across the mainland and from the US and obviously the UK. As we were walking away from the main stage area to go and see some friends, I heard a track playing in the background. Obviously, one of the queens was performing on stage. And it was this belter of a sort of punky, new wavy rock song going on. I turned around and looked, and I could see up on the screen, there was an actual guitarist up on stage. This is Ryan J. Keane, who I now follow on Instagram. Check him out because he's fantastic. And he was playing on stage with Coppertop, who is a superb singer, and belting out this tune. And I thought to myself, this really has got a lot of bollocks. I loved it, absolutely loved it. And I followed up later, checking out the video on YouTube, and actually did a bit of a kind of extra metal play along with it on my YouTube channel. Link here in the description. And I thought this was a great tune. And not long after this, Coppertop mentioned on Instagram she was looking to put a band together. So presumably to accompany Ryan and her and, fill out the lineup. So I thought, that'd be fun. I'm not the obvious choice, I would imagine. I think Coppertop was probably born after the first band I joined. I'm so old. I'm musically primarily known for prog rock, complex time signature weirdness, stuff you can't dance to. I probably don't look the part anymore. I may have looked the part at one point in my life when I had more hair. And, I'm ancient in comparison to Coppertop. But I thought, well, let's throw out some pictures of me and Galahad and 12th Night and various other bands I've been in, playing guitar, playing bass, playing, what have you. And it's worth a punt. I knew Coppertop was busy, so I wasn't, come on, I've sent you this. It's been 5 minutes now. Why haven't you hired me? But I thought, okay, well, I'll leave it for a while, but I'll sound out some of my drag queen friends and get a steer on how they might feel if they were being approached by me to join a band, because most of them don't know me from Adam in terms of my musical history. So I asked around and I said, look, bluntly, am I both too old and too straight for this gig? What would you think if I applied to be in your band, if you were putting a band together? And they said, well, look, you're an ally. You're a very much on side, if you like, with the drag community and the queer community. And so obviously I'm not in the LGBTQIA plus community, but I'm not, one of them outside it that's being a shit about drag queens and stuff. So hadn't heard anything for a while, and Copper had initially replied saying, putting a sort of queer and LGBTQ band together. And I said, well, look, I'm a bit of an outlier for you, obviously, but see what you think. So recently I got back in contact with Copper and said, how's it going? Have you put a band together? And we had a bit of a chat, and she has a band. And that band is composed of members of the community. Now, am I ticked off that I'm not in Copper's band? Yeah, because it would be such fun. But in my musical history, and let's park questions of whether I've got any talent or not to one side, I have had no obstacles in front of me. None. I'm white, I'm male, I'm straight, 90%, who isn't, admit it guys. I have had no obstacles in front of me. Queer musicians have loads. Until recently, visibility of drag, visibility of queer musicians were generally isolated cases in comparison to the vast swathes of straight musicians out there, or at least in some cases passing for straight musicians, which also tells you something about the way the music business is viewed. I would have loved to have been in Copper's band, and I've told her as well, if anybody's unavailable because they're ill, and I'm not going to cut anyone's brake pipes, I would be mortified if I'd taken the opportunity away from somebody that has had these obstacles in front of them that I have not had. If I never get another gig with a band, ever, I've had a pretty good run. I've been in loads of bands. I've played all over the planet. I've had a great time in music. I'm not giving it up or anything. I am really happy to not get in the way of the opportunities that should be given to somebody in the LGBTQIA plus community. Am I a bit cheesed that I didn't get the gig? Of course I am. Will I go along and see Copper and her band rip the roof off the place? Yeah. Will I enjoy it? Of course I bloody will. Copper, this old git's still out here if you need him. I can even have a t-shirt with "Token Straight Guy, I'm filling a quota" written on it if you want. I am absolutely 100% behind Copper and I cannot wait to see the shows. See you guys.